Hi, boys and girls. It's Jim Monaghan along with Chris Swendeman, and it's another episode of the 2 Minute Drill podcast. Mister, we all we got, we all we need.
Wait, hold
Well,
on. I made my own sign for you. Wait.
only part of it's showing up.
Oh, we all we need because we ain't got no trophy. And I
Do
made
you?
a sad face and everything.
I wonder if the New England Patriots offensive line missed the plane home because they certainly missed every assignment in last night's game.
Well, you know how they make up names for when units get really good. Like Seattle used to have, the Legion of Boom,
Sure.
and they have their defensive line. They're going to call the Patriots offensive line the Turnstiles.
It was bad yesterday. It was bad.
Ooh, yikes. I mean, listen, protect Drake May at all costs because my goodness, I mean, he had no time to even react. I mean, he just had one defender after another coming after him, and I mean, it wasn't even close.
And here's the crazy thing about it. For the most part, it was a four-man rush.
Right. Yep.
And the Pats line had nothing. They had nothing against those four guys. Occasionally, somebody's
Right.
blitzing. I get it. But, I'm thinking, well, can't McDaniels dream something up here to spice the offense up? But when your quarterback literally has zero time and he can't find guys who are open, and if he does find somebody open, he's either over or underthrowing them, or he's throwing it to a guy in the other
Right.
jersey.
Yeah. And I mean, the combination of strength and size is scary when you see how fast those guys, and they were just monsters on that defensive line. They were just abusing. I mean, and New England's got a sizable front line, but they were just no match because the speed, they just got around them every which way possible. I couldn't believe some of the plays. They were just making them look like kids.
And in the Patriots' defense, their defense was very good. Obviously Christian
Absolutely.
Gonzalez kept the game from
Amazing.
being, 9-0. It could easily have been 21-0. But they hounded and hounded Sam Darnold
Yep.
most of the game. Darnold made a couple of plays. They get a few field goals, and we don't even get a touchdown until the fourth quarter, at which point the game was still. Once the Patriots scored that touchdown, you're thinking, hey, maybe May has started to find his footing a little bit because for the most part, he looked like exactly what he is, a very young quarterback. His second year, and all
Yep.
of a sudden he's in the biggest game of his career, the
Yeah.
pinnacle of the profession.
I
He looked deer in the headlights a lot of times.
But we were talking before we came on. I mean, that one touchdown pass he threw, though, oh my goodness, that gives you window of hope to say that, listen, if you give this kid time, he's going to figure it out because that pass he dropped into Mac Collins's hands where no one else could get it went for the touchdown. I mean, that was just a thing of beauty. I mean, he really did a great job, but there were just too many other times during the game. The game just looked way too fast for him.
And we talked about this in previous episodes. I'm very, very happy for Sam Darnold with everything that he
Yep.
went through,
Hmm.
especially against the Patriots when he was with the Jets. I'm seeing
Yep.
ghosts. Well, he certainly didn't see any ghosts yesterday in the Super Bowl. I'm very, very happy for him. You think about everything that he's done with his career up to this point, 14-3 with the Vikings, and see ya. Okay, fine. I'll take another team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, if you don't want me at 14-3, wait, I'll go have another 14 win season and I'll take this team with me to the Super Bowl and win it. I mean, what an amazing redemption story. Went to two organizations that just didn't have, their proverbial crap together. Couldn't get him into the right system, didn't know what to do with him, couldn't utilize his skills the right way, couldn't get a good support team under him. He starts to build when he goes to the Niners, builds a little bit more in Minnesota. Minnesota's like, you know what? We'd rather have JJ McCarthy. Okay, let me go to Seattle. And boom. I mean, one of the great sports redemption stories of not only the year, but the past few years. And I'm just so happy to see a guy who just knew he had the skills to be able to cut it in the NFL and he wouldn't give up. And good for Sam Darnold.
And, speaking of the game, the halftime show got a lot of attention, of course, with Bad Bunny being the main star. There were a couple of little people snuck in there along the way, little people. Lady Gaga and Ricky Martin, not exactly little, but I did not understand more than, I think, 5 words of it. I really do wish they had put subtitles in, but I enjoyed it. It was a production, it was a show in the grandest sense of the word.
I mean, if you think of like you ever watch the Thanksgiving Day parade and they put on these little snippets from all these Broadway plays to kind of like show you a little bit of what the thing. This had more production than any of those little like vignettes they put on during parades and things like that. This was a major league production and it was amazing. I can't believe how much they got in. If you saw the overhead, it went from the 20 to the 20.
Yeah, right.
It was huge. I thought it was energetic. It was exciting. It was fun. It was vibrant. It had the high energy. I mean, I don't know what more you could want out of it. I mean, granted, it would have been nice if you're into the music to understand it, but I think his charisma almost overpowers the fact that you aren't understanding what the words are saying. Like the vibe of the music still gets you into it, even though you may not understand Spanish. I just thought it was a killer job. Way better than I thought it was better than the past few halftime shows, Kendrick Lamar and a few others that I thought, really lacked it. The weekend, I thought he blew those guys away yesterday with the energy level and the production value.
I know that there is some concern about, who gets chosen, whether it's an American performer or not.
Right.
Obviously, Bad Bunny is an American citizen, but,
Yep.
you think of, well, the Rolling Stones and Paul McCartney and The Who and
Hmm.
U2 and Shania
Yep.
Twain and Coldplay. Like, at any rate, I did watch a little bit of the alternative halftime show as well. And like the Super Bowl halftime show, both of them were lip synced. And now I do not have a problem with that because I understand why it's done. It's
Right.
because productions of this, like you just talked about, from the 20 to the 20,
Yeah.
you cannot take a chance on something going wrong.
Right.
So there's always a recorded backing track, there's always a recorded vocal track. That said, there's usually live vocal mics, but in
Right.
case something craps out, that's what's going on. And I first realized that, hey, this is not live back in 1997 with the Blues Brothers and ZZ Top. And the ZZ
Wow.
Top guys are spinning their guitars around. And I'm like, oh, come on. Like, they're not even trying to hide it at
Right.
all. you know, um, I understand they have to, they don't have a choice. So, all of them, Bruce, Tom Petty, McCartney, the Stones, you
Right.
name it, they've all been playing along to a pre-recorded backing track.
Well, I will say this. I'm going to make my gripe about the main halftime show. And I will say this. Out of everything I loved about it, Lady Gaga is a force, by the way. She could do anything. She could amazingly play with Metallica, and then she could perform with Bad Bunny. And neither one is anything other than top notch. But I will say this, my one complaint, you have Ricky Martin on a high energy show and no living La Vida Loca. Come on. Bad job, guys. Bad job. I mean, you had one job, Ricky Martin, and you didn't even get a little snippet of it in there, just a little something. It was such a high energy show, and I felt like Ricky Martin like slowed it down almost. And I'm like, wait, like a little. I was like waiting for it, like to hear that beat, and no, it never happened. I'm like, maybe he wants to get away with it, but I was very surprised that it wasn't in there somehow. If you were going to have him, like, how do you not have that as part of it? But I don't know.
The other
Way
main
above my pay grade.
The other main thing that's been going on in sports, of course, the Olympics, and one of the highlights, if you will, or lowlights, highlight being the attempted comeback, and the lowlight what happened. And I'm speaking about Lindsey Vonn,
Yep.
who was injured and then required surgery for a broken leg. And I looked at the amount of injuries, Chris, that she's had over the years. The
Oh, it's a
fact that
litany.
she was even remotely close to
Right.
competing this year is a testament to her inner drive.
Absolutely. And while I really am in awe of what an amazing athlete and her drive to be part of the Olympics and part of Team USA, I think after the first injury in this Olympics, I think she should have stepped aside. I really do because she's she's tasted this. She's been there. She's been in numerous Olympics, and I mean, listen, no one's ever going to question whether she wants to be an Olympian and part of Team USA. We get it, but at some point, and it just went to prove, unfortunately, she did get injured again. That maybe there was somebody waiting in the wings that they could have replaced her with. That maybe would have got their first shot. I just think it I hate using the word selfish, but I feel like it. Well, I know this might be her last shot, and probably is, but you're hurting the team more than helping it at this point. A valiant effort, but I just think after the first injury, it was time to say, you know what? It's unfortunate. I wish this didn't happen, but maybe it's time for me to sit this one out.
She put a very emotional post on her Instagram saying that while Sunday did not end the way I had hoped, and despite the intense physical pain it caused, I have no regrets. Standing in the starting gate yesterday, meaning Sunday,
Right.
was an incredible feeling that I will never forget. Knowing I stood there, having a chance to win, was a victory in and of itself. I also knew that racing was a risk. It always was and always will be an incredibly dangerous sport. And similar to ski racing, we take risks in life. We dream, we love, we jump, and sometimes we fail. Sometimes our hearts are broken. Sometimes we don't achieve the dreams we know we could have. But that is also the beauty of life. We can try. I tried, I dreamt, I jumped. I hope you take away if you take away anything from my journey, it's that you all have the courage to dare greatly. Life is too short not to take chances on yourself, because the only failure in life is not trying. I believe in you just as you believed in me. And I think that summed
Wow.
up exactly what she was going through as she put it together. And I understand your point. Maybe she should have stepped aside, but you get to that elite status, Chris, and it's
Right.
it's hard to say goodbye. Pitchers will tell you, the hitters will let me know when it's time to go. But you
Right.
think of how many guys hang on. I don't know if you're young enough, old enough rather, to remember Willie Mays at the end of his career. I mean, it was well past his prime. Brady knew when it was time.
Right.
I've given it all I can, but there are guys who hang on, and you think, boy, what's he doing here?
Well, have you ever seen one of my favorite baseball movies out of the litany of sports movies I love? It's kind of an underrated one because of the other movies he's done in sports. Kevin Costner and For the Love of the Game.
Oh, absolutely.
He's basically an old pitcher that's starting, to realize that, Father Time's catching up with him and he's on the mound. And I mean, he's having talks with the man upstairs. Just give me one more pitch.
I know I
Just give
told
me
you
one.
I never would bring you into this, but if you can get me through the pain of this, yeah, definitely.
It's one of the most amazing movies because it doesn't go from that like young player. It goes from the guy who's just hoping he can hang on for one more pitch, for one more batter. And if you've never seen it, it's a great movie that explains a lot of the similar things with Lindsey Vonn.
I may have told you this story before. Tom House tells this story. Tom House, longtime pitching coach at the major league level. Nolan Ryan is in the bullpen. preparing for a start, and House is his pitching coach, and Ryan's going through the routine, and he looks at House and he says, I've got nothing. I have absolutely nothing today.
Wow.
Nolan Ryan went out and pitched his last career no-hitter that day.
Because of course he did.
So that kind of goes back to what you were talking about Billy Chappell, the character that Kevin Costner played in For Love of the Game. As long as we're on baseball, I think the Mets heading into the season have quietly done some nice things with the pitching staff. There are still some more moves that need to be made, and obviously Mets fans still stinging over the loss of the polar bear, but they've made some nice moves.
As much as I really loathe to admit it, because I never want to give the Mets credit for anything, they really have. I mean, the Bichette signing, I think, was a smart move. Getting Freddie Peralta, genius for a team that was really in need of pitching. They've done some quiet moves. And we were just talking before we got on about the Mets signing Craig Kimbrell to a minor league deal. I think for a bullpen that could use an arm, Kimbrell is not done yet. And I think he may be an interesting piece to that bullpen as well. Luke Weaver, another arm for the bullpen. This is good. Devin Williams. They really had a very quietly good offseason. And I think they are going to really give a strong run in the NL East for sure. My Yankees, yeah, I'm just like that gritting teeth emoji. And like, I don't know where we're going to go yet, because I guess we are running it back, but we're not running it back.
Well, you can sum up the Yankees offseason so far, for the most part, in one word: hope. I hope Garrett Cole is healthy. You hope Rodon is able to come back healthy. You hope Anthony Volpe's fixed. You hope. Hope is not a strategy.
No, it's not. One of my favorite movies, Grumpy Old Men, and when he looks at Jack Lemmon, Pop, Burgess Meredith, and he says to him, well, you could crap in one hand and wish in the other and see which one gets filled first. And that's pretty much where we're at, folks, as far as if you're a Yankee fan right now. That's what they got. Although they did trade for infielder, outfielder, utility player for the A's today, Max Schumann, who apparently does have a really strong glove, but not exactly what Yankee fans were hoping for on the laundry list of needs this offseason.
Meanwhile, some Red Sox fans, speaking of being stung, still having difficulty getting over the fact that the team did not re-sign Alex Bregman, but they got a nice infielder from the Milwaukee Brewers in Durban. They signed IKF. I think he's going to be a pretty good role player for them. They fixed their pitching. I think there may still be a move or two there, but I like where they went this offseason so far, even though I really wanted Bregman.
Yeah, I think Bregman would have been the cherry on top on this offseason for the Sox. You get somebody like Ranger Suarez, which is really didn't make waves like it should, but Ranger Suarez is a really good pitcher. And I think he's going to be a really good asset for them, and they have a lot of young up and coming, led by Roman Anthony. I mean, this kid is going to be a superstar. Mark it down. There's no doubt. They kept Duran. It's interesting to see, and they have a good young core mixed with some veterans. They're going to be an interesting team. The AL East, they're going to be interesting all around between your Sox, the Yankees, the Orioles beefed up, and the Blue Jays. By the way, they were, just a couple outs away from winning the World Series. So, it's going to be a dogfight.
As we get further into February, we'll be spending a bit more time on baseball, of course, and that's the 2-minute drill for another week. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, comment. We've gotten a lot of good comments of late, including somebody who wanted to know who the schmuck was, who didn't think that Drake May had enough in the tank to win the Super Bowl. I responded, I guess I'm the schmuck. Either way, we'd love to hear from you. And that's about it. Tell a friend, tell an enemy, just tell somebody. Swendeman, we'll talk next week.
You got it, Jim. Have a good one.